It's time for Savings Appeal. We're joined by Dylan Bond. He's the owner of Bond Financial Services with tips on planning for retirement. So today we're talking about an investment vehicle. It's the mutual fund. But before we get into mutual funds, we were talking about those unforgettable birthdays before the break.
Right.
That's for next week. It's a big old tease because these are important birthdays that people need to remember.
Right.
But for now, let's talk mutual funds. What do people need to know?
Well, the thing about mutual funds is they're great tools. They help people that don't have a lot of money that are starting to invest be able to get diversification without putting all their eggs in one basket, so to speak. So as when you're starting out and you only have 50 or 100 bucks a week or a month to put into a investment vehicle, mutual funds are a great place to start. The thing is, people get into those rhythms and modes, and then 30 years later, they're 10 years to retirement. They've accumulated a lot of money, and it's not the same scenario. What they really need to be aware of at that point with mutual funds are the costs associated with owning them. Forbes did an article about a couple of years ago that estimated that the average mutual fund in an IRA account cost about 3% a year to own, which is about $3,000 per every $100,000 that you have invested in a fund that has that fee structure. In a non-qualified account, there's also tax implications that cost money. So they estimated a little over 4% a year for non-qualified money. So again, when you're getting 10 years to retirement or you're at retirement, you've accumulated a very big nest egg in mutual funds that is costing a lot of money to own. And most mutual funds are passive vehicles that go up and down in the stock market. So when the markets are going up, you pay more. When the markets are going down, you're still paying those fees. So over time, you're shelling out a lot more money than you have to.
So in other words, maybe when you get older and you're paying that 3 or 4% on a much larger amount, maybe it's not the best thing to do because it's not a high yield investment account.
Right, exactly. And, you know, with the evolution of financial services out there and the efficiency, I use a calculator example. If you think about what it cost for a calculator 25, 30 years ago, it was close to $100. Now the banks are giving them away to everybody that walks in the door.
True, yeah.
Okay, and the same, the financial services industry has also evolved. So there are institutional style managed accounts available now that 10, 15 years ago you couldn't get into without having $500,000 or more. There are accounts like that now that with as little as $25,000 you can get access to that type of an account, which is actively managed and it's very transparent, where you can see the fees and expenses that are being billed to you right in your account, and you can be very comfortable that you're paying a reasonable fee.
That's great. A lot of people don't know a ton about mutual funds. For me, and going into our segment, I didn't really have any idea. So there's buzzwords out there. So when you're shopping, it's important to know these. Now, there's retail and institutional. It's two different kinds.
Yeah, well, the retail and institutional world out there, if you think about it, a lot of financial organizations out there have sales forces, people that work for companies, and they're out there. They're working on a suitability standard, which basically, if they can make a case that it's the recommendation is suitable for their customer, then they can sell that product to them. It might not be the best product for the customer,
but it's the one that they get cut on.
It's suitable, and they may get paid more or may not. You know, I'm not saying that everybody's doing that, but the fact of the matter is most retail financial service companies out there are publicly traded nowadays. So if they have shareholders that are expecting more profits year after year, and they have clients where those profits come from, I think there might be a conflict of interest there that people need to take into consideration.
So then maybe the buzzword that they should look for and you should look for is fiduciary. That's different from suitability.
Yeah, exactly. A fiduciary, and that's the position I put myself in, is you're making recommendations based on the best interest of the client, period. I do not work in the investment industry on any commission basis. I work on a fee basis only, and I'm looking for the very best products and the very best managed accounts that I can find to meet the needs of my clients.
So in a sense, you don't have any vested interest in one fund or another. You have vested interest in the best fund for that person or that particular couple.
Yeah,
or
as a matter of fact, I don't use funds for the families that I work with. We use managed accounts, and I prefer actively managed accounts that the managers have the ability to get in and out of the market. If they see that the markets have more downside than they do upside, they might make a decision to get out of the market rather than participate in the fall off. Our chief investment officer has a saying that markets go up on escalators and down on elevators. and you have to be very careful of that because the markets take a while to go up, but they don't take long to go down. And 2008 is a good example of that.
It lost about half of its value in 2008, so it's something that people have to be aware of.
Yep.
And now, if you enjoyed what you've seen here, if people like what they see, they want to learn a little bit more about you, they can go to one of your investment seminars. It's Are You Prepared for 30 Years Without a Paycheck? Because that's
Right.
a reality.
Yeah, I focus on working with people that are 50 and older. I'm looking for families that want to sit down and take the time to learn what's available out there and what will fit them best. We have some programs coming up in Ludlow at the Villa Rose in March. Best thing to do is check the website under About Us Seminars. It'll show upcoming dates, and there's also a Facebook icon on our website where you can like our Facebook page, and we're constantly putting Thoughts of the Week up, as well as any seminars, upcoming seminars, and any appearances by our investment officers.
Pretty cool, Dylan. It's always a pleasure having you here. That's Savings Appeal, and you can visit bondfinancialservices.net or call 413-754-4747. Just let Dylan and his staff take the steps to secure your financial future.